Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. 2 patients in this compilation video. So we can see our first patient here. They've got this very light coloured wax. Now this either means it's going to be really soft and squishy, or it's going to mean it's got some big old hard pieces in there with little bits of dry skin all mixed in with it as well. So we can see the entrance here looks quite soft and squishy. Now the patient has been using some olive oil, which we ask all our patients to do before they come along. That just helps to soften this wax up a little bit. But you can see once we've got past that initial soft section of wax, now we're starting to hit this slightly harder chunk that's sitting behind it. So what we're doing here with the standard sized Zollner tube is we're starting to remove some of these softer pieces of wax here and just trying to maneuver this harder plug, peel it away from the ear canal wall. It looks pretty firmly stuck there at the moment, but we'll see if we can just move it across. There we go. You can see we're just teasing it away, just moving it across on the side of the canal wall. Guys, while you're watching this bit, don't forget, if you do have any questions you want us to answer in one of our YouTube short videos, drop them into the comment section below. I am trying so hard to answer all your comments. I'm certainly reading every single one that's coming through, guys. So if you do have any questions, drop them into those comment section below, and I promise I will try and do the one that gets asked the most. I think that's probably the easiest way of doing it for me. I'll do a little video on that one if that's okay. Or if you find one you think, oh, that's a great question, I wish I'd answered that one, give us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get on questions, the more likely I am to put that one into a YouTube short. So you can see now we're just breaking away some of the entrance wax here. Now we get a little bit of movement. Can you see that little bit of a wiggle just coming in there? There we go. There's that plug. We introduced a little bit of olive oil. That just helped to get everything moving from the ear canal there. So that front section is broken away. There's a whole other section sitting behind it there though. So let's see if we can lift this piece. There we go. We can see that grey, white grey material underneath there. That's dry skin. That's been hanging on to this wax, stopping it from coming away. And we've got this plug to the outside edge. Now we need to turn it slightly to be able to get it out of the canal. Don't forget, canals don't go straight into your head. There's a little bit of a bend. They tend to point forwards and then go in. So what you'll get when you get to the outer part is we've got to negotiate that last little bend. There we go. We can see the eardrum. There's a little teeny weeny bit of wax just stuck on the one side. So we'll go grab that now. There we are, fine end on for this one. Always a lot easier to grab those little pieces with a fine end. So this is what it looked like to start with. You can see no trace of an eardrum there, pretty blocked up, wax right at the entrance to the canal. We're looking a lot clearer then afterwards, eardrum looking really healthy. So this is the other ear canal here. Very similar story. There is a tiny little gap just above this wax though, which I can just see there. So that if we can move the wax and push it upwards, we should be able to get it into that little bit of a gap. Less oil gone into this side. Why? Because the patient hadn't really noticed they had any issues on this side. There was a gap above the wax, which meant the sound could still get through. But it wasn't until we looked in there we could see there was actually a problem. So we're just starting to pull this forwards now. There we go. You can see now we've hit that corner wall. This is why we're saying about having to bend it just as you get to the outer part of the ear canal. We've drawn it down, but now we have to negotiate that last little bend. So we've got to put a bit of a twist on it. And that's what you can see. I'm trying to aim into that top corner there just to give it a bit of a wiggle around the bend. Does it want to go? It's quite at home in here. It doesn't want to budge. Okay, let's what are we going to do here? Let's bring the Jobson horn in. Let's get over the top. Great for scooping this one. So there we are. You can see it was held on with that little bit of dry skin that you just saw break away right at the end there. Look how crumbly that is. Very, very dry type wax. No wonder that didn't want to go around the bend with suction. It's struggling to get around with the Jobson horn there. So there we go. Around it comes. Out that comes. There we go. Just roll that last bit. You can really see that dry skin material there right underneath that plug. Whoops, doesn't want to pick up. Hang on, there we go. We got it. Let's take a look behind that then. Eardrum looking good. You can actually see the lifts of dry skin all around the outside edge there. Tiny little bit of wax right on the side. There we go. Let's get rid of you. Perfect. And last little bit just around the corner there. Is that going to come away? Yes, it is. And a little bit to the side, a little bit to the bottom. Just give it a little quick little tight, a little bit of a spruce up on the outside part of that ear canal there, guys. And then we'll see the eardrum behind looking lovely and healthy. So this is what it looked like to start with. This is what it looks like afterwards. There it is. Didn't think I was coming there, guys. So this is where it moves, 3.5 centimeters. Stay tuned, everyone. Don't you go anywhere. There is another wax removal coming up. Thank you very much. 3.5 centimeters. One. Oh, just under 1.5 inches, just over 1.25 inches, somewhere between the two, that one was, guys. So you can see there's some really big old chunky pieces. Now this is a very different ear canal. Look at the color difference straight away. Darker material here. What's right smack in the middle of that piece of wax, guys? Yes, there is a dent. Why is there a dent? Exactly right, it's been Q-tip use again. So you can see this patient's been using some Q-tips and cotton buds, pushed that wax much further in, put a nice big old dent in the middle, squished it out to the sides, which makes it a lot harder to do. In fairness, this patient did admit using cotton buds. They said they'd actually used a cotton bud and made the problem worse. So we're just going to remove some of these pieces around the outside edge. You can see we've got quite a dense bit of hair, not just cilia as well, not just the little fine hairs, but these big old thick rope-like hairs on the outer part of the ear canal there, and there's a lot of those embedded into this piece of wax. But you can see where this patient's been using Q-tips, it's squished and squished and squished and squished the wax. It's become rock solid. I'm having a dickens of a job getting this out. You can see I'm struggling basically to get the good grip here on this piece of wax, just because the sides of it are so thin and so narrow that it's really hard to get a good suction grip, and the center is so depressed it's really hard to get hold of that bit as well. So it does become a much more difficult wax removal to do. Right, can we get above this? Let's see, will the Jobson horn get above, or is it going to push it further in? You can see how hard that was. That just flicked straight off the top. Now this is where it becomes problematic, because you've got to get that scooping motion, but without putting too much pressure downwards against the bottom of the canal wall there. There we go, out that's coming, there it is. Look at that plug coming out. It's a surprise a patient could hear anything at all, bless him. It was so blocked up in there. You can see those tiny little hairs all embedded in there as well. Really kind of jam-packed in there. Let's get a good look at that. Give you a bit of a, oh, look at that, give you a bit of a turn as well. The wax did a twirl on the way out there for you guys. So we'll take a look behind. There we go. Look at that eardrum, looking lovely. So this is what it looked like before, just wax everywhere, hair everywhere, but looking so much better there. Look, there you go. Let's have a look at the other side. Now you can see there's no depression on this one. Patient hadn't been using a Q-tip on this one, or if they had, they hadn't gone in quite as deep. But we've still got this big old chunky plug in here that looks dry as a bone. So let's try and get a little bit of suction on this. Let's reposition this. If I'm lucky, I can give it a little bit of a wiggle down the ear canal. It's not quite budging here now. Actually, one of the comments, which made me giggle this morning, I was reading it this morning, it said about what they say, walking the wax to the ear canal. The Aerosmiths walk this way, stuck in the head, which is, thank very much, guys, is now stuck in mine as well. So it's kind of, it's that sort of, you know, walking it down, kind of wiggling it back and forth all the way down the canal there, on its way out. Oh, there was one other comment actually, which was a really unusual request. I had a lady asking me to pronounce a name, a Welsh name, which was Taliesin. If it comes out, you did write it in the comments, and rather than do a whole video, I thought I'd just chuck it into this one. So yeah, that's the way you pronounce that particular name, is Taliesin. You'll know who you are if you see it. So we're just getting this last couple of pieces out here as well. You can see it's really dry. I'm dropping into the wax here, trying to sort of pull and scoop the whole plug. You can see the front end is coming away there. Look at all that hair though. There is so much hair embedded in this wax. So we're just going to pull this through. It's not crumbly. It's a really odd consistency, this one. It's a bit like magic sand. You guys have, you probably have it. You probably had it before we did in the US. But there's you use magic sand. It's that kind of consistency, almost quite solid when you put pressure on it. But then it starts to, as soon as you alleviate the pressure, it also starts to crumble apart. It's a funny old consistency, this one. You can see the visuals as well. Because we're working right on the outside part of the ear, we've got this plug to the outside part. We're working directly behind the cilia with the endoscope there, so it's really difficult to kind of get through those hairs to be able to see. But not bad enough that we need to trim them out. I do know some audiologists who just clamp on those with forceps and just rip them out, which sends shivers down my spine. But there you go, you can see it's coming away. There we are, there's that plug. Let's see if we can lift this up. There it is. Oh, another little twirl. Spoiling you guys today, wax twirls. Eardrum looks lovely and healthy. This is what it looked like before. You can see completely and utterly blocked. And you can see the eardrum looking lovely and healthy there. So 3 centimeters, 1¼ inches, much easier with my easy read ruler. Yeah, so nice big plugs there. Don't forget, guys, drop any queries you've got into the comment section below. If you come across a question in the comments, rather than ask it again, you think it's a good one, give it a thumbs up. The more thumbs up on a question, I'll be able to pick out the ones to do the short videos on. So we'll see you again real soon. As always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.